Hey everyone, how's it going and welcome back to my channel. Has everyone been enjoying spooky season recently? Have you been watching scary movies, playing scary games, reading horror manga? Because I know I have been doing all three of those. But honestly, spooky season is like all year long for me because horror is my favorite genre. So one of my favorite genres. So I do this all year long. So it's not really anything new for me or anything different, but I hope you all have been enjoying your spooky seasons, stuff like that. But anyway, today we are going to be talking about a very special manga that I have been wanting to talk about for a while and haven't gotten a chance to read it until now. It's special to me because this is the first manga that I ever purchased from a specific publisher. I didn't know what to expect from this release because I never bought anything from them before. And, I didn't know if the translation was going to be good. I didn't know if the way it was going to be organized and just packaged, if it was going to be good. I had no idea. I was like, let me just try it out. So we're going to be talking about a manga, a horror manga today, and I hope you enjoy this video. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already and or give it a thumbs up so more people can watch. All right. So yeah. So today we're going to be talking about a manga called Wonder House of Horrors by Miyako Kojima. This is being published by Starfruit Books. As you could see, that little slice of orange, lime, lemon. I don't know which fruit it is, okay? I don't know, but it's being published by Starfruit Books. And let me tell you, like I said, I had no idea what to expect from this volume of manga because I never bought anything from Starfruit Books. But now that I purchased this and I have this in my collection, I want to get more releases from Starfruit Books because I was pleasantly surprised with this. It's really compact. It's smaller than other volumes of manga, at least I think it is. The pages are brighter, I guess you could say, and the cover texture is like a little different. Like, I like it because it stands out when you put it against like all my other manga. It stands out, and honestly it reminds me of like my old copies of like X 1999, and they were read the other direction. They were actually read this way, but they had similar page like paper that they used, and like they felt like this, so it reminds me of those. But anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. Anyway, this is Wonder House of Horrors. You can see this cover right here. I love this cover. Absolutely beautiful. It's scary. Well, not scary to me, but spooky and cool and just like overall really nice. And then you have this back as well. I love it. The artwork is very Kazuo Ume's. So if you've read things like The Drifting Classroom, you might be like, wow, this kind of looks similar to that. And I think that's what initially drew me into reading this manga at all, because I was like, oh, this looks cool. It reminds me of that. Definitely doesn't remind me of Kazuo Ume's manga, but I liked the artwork, and that's something that drew me in right away. Wonder House of Horrors is an anthology, meaning that it has 10 different stories. There are 10 independent stories in this volume of manga. It's a compilation, basically. None of the stories are connected, although a lot of these stories have similar themes and similar things that you will see. So there's a common theme of beauty. What does it mean to be beautiful? What does it mean to be ugly? There's a common thing of like revenge. There's a common theme of like, even though it might not necessarily be a theme, but a concept of like, hey, I want to fix my life or change something in my life, but I'm going to do it the completely wrong way. It's kind of like that. And also boyfriends, another common thing that you're going to see in this manga. I feel bad for the boyfriends. The boyfriends in this manga, I feel bad for all of them. But yeah, there's boyfriends and also a lot of chocolate. It's very odd. Like the things that we see in this manga that recur often are kind of random. I mean, I guess they're not very random when you think about it, but still not what I usually see in horror manga. But honestly, I thought it was very refreshing. When I think of compilation manga, I think of my Junji hardcovers, I love those things to death. I truly do. But it's kind of refreshing to have a different anthology, a different, creator, and a different like stories. It's very nice to have something different. And so I felt like Wonder House of Horrors was exactly my kind of thing. They weren't, the stories are not exactly scary, like, scary, but Junji Ito's stories aren't like that for me either. So, I mean, they're more campy than anything else for me. But these stories were clever. They were well thought out, in my opinion, and they were fun to read. So, yes, they are horror stories, but there was only one story that was really creepy to me, believe it or not, and that was the Chocolate Man. But we'll get to the rest of the stories. But honestly, like, I wasn't very scared considering that it's a horror anthology. But there are definitely spooky things. There are gruesome pictures if you are easily nauseated by blood or body parts coming out of bodies. Maybe this is something you want to stay away from, but I'm okay with manga like that. So, wasn't a problem for me, but you will see stuff like that. Some of the stuff you're like, oh, geez, like these characters look so pretty, and you're like, oh, look at them go. Right? So just saying. So now for the actual stories that are contained in here, we have Ugly Face, The Amazing Dismembered Girl, Monologue, Severance, Speed Girl, Wonder Valentine, Chocolate Man, Mission School, The Hunt in the Mountains, and Mansion of Sweet Mystery. What I like about the way this volume is organized, I don't know if this was how it was published in Japan or if Starfruit Books organized it like this. If they did, thumbs up to you guys, because I love the way that things with like the stories with recurring themes or recurring things are bunched together. So like, for example, Ugly Face, Amazing Dismembered Girl, and Monologue all have that theme of beauty going on for them. So I like that. I like how Wonder Valentine and Chocolate Man, and I think there's one more, I can't remember which one, have to do with like giving chocolate and getting chocolate or boyfriends and love. Like, those are bundled together. So I like having that organization. I know it sounds like so lame when I say that, but you don't realize how important and how great having stories that are organized, just really is. Like, it's wonderful. I love that. I can't explain why I do, but I just do. But the artwork for Wonder House of Horrors is a delight. Even the grotesque imagery and some of the ugly faces as they are depicted in the manga are very detailed, and you can tell what they were going, where they were going with some of these stories. What I felt was really interesting was the afterward, because they talk about how, how this manga started getting published, and how, there was a big boom in like horror manga in Japan. And then after several incidences of, school kids dying or something like that, unfortunately, that boom kind of settled down and horror manga was kind of frowned upon. I actually did not know about that. So there's some good like horror manga lore in this afterward. And honestly, I thought it was very interesting, and I loved that bit about it. In terms of the stories, like I said, none of them really creeped me out that much except the Chocolate Man, because that was a straight up horror slasher. Like, that could be adapted into a movie or like something. They could make a whole series of the Chocolate Man. Like, he's bitter because he didn't get any chocolate for White Day or something like that. Like, really? You're gonna go do that because you're bitter? Honestly, like, I guess it happens in that story. But honestly, that was one of my favorites because it felt like a slasher film. So I really, really liked that. I also liked things like Ugly Face with the theme of beauty. I do feel very bad for all of the male characters in this manga. I can't say anything about these stories without spoiling, but honestly, all the male characters, I would say pretty much most of them, they don't have such a great fate. So, I feel very bad for them. That being said, I like the stories that have to do with revenge or have to do with making my life better. So I'm going to do this and be a horrible person so that my life gets better. I like stories like that. So, like I said, I feel like these stories were clever, wonderfully illustrated, whether it's creepy or cute. Like, honestly, the illustrations are on point. They really are. So, yeah, I'm just flipping so you could see a little bit. But honestly, this was a very, very solid anthology. And I can't wait to read more Starfruit book releases because this was so enjoyable and the quality was great. The translations were great. I like the afterword. Honestly, this was a solid release for me, and I would like to see more, or I would like to read more horror manga that's being published by Starfruit Books. And please publish more for me. Please do it for me. Do it for me, Starfruit Books. Please. I'm definitely a big horror fan, and I cannot wait to enjoy some more titles that I've never heard of or read before. So bring it on. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Totally appreciate it. If you've been enjoying your spooky season, make sure to comment below. Let me know what you've been enjoying, reading, watching, playing. Let me know. I'm always curious. And thank you all for watching. Totally appreciate it. Feel free to like, share, comment, or subscribe. And I will see you all next time. Bye.